Interrogated at airports, as has most recently Jesselyn Radack, the attorney representing Edward Snowden, joining us from London. She's a former ethics advisor to the U.S. Department of Justice under George W. Bush, currently Director of National Security and Human Rights at the Government Accountability Project, the nation's leading whistleblower organization. Jesselyn, welcome back to Democracy Now! Describe what happened at Heathrow on Sunday.
I was trying to enter through customs, which at Heathrow is called the border force, and I was directed to a very specific station rather than the regular line. And after the first question, which is, why are you here, which is a normal question, things just got more bizarre as we went along. I said that I was here to see friends. They wanted me to be more specific. I said in the Sam Adams Association, the group that awarded Edward Snowden the award last year. I didn't add that part. And then they asked for the names of the people in the group. And so I gave names of people who are publicly known to be members. And then they asked where we were meeting. And I said at the Ecuadorian embassy. And they asked with Julian Assange. And I said yes. But then at that point, I was asked why I had been to Russia twice in the past 3 months. And I said, because I have a client there. And they asked who, and I said Edward Snowden. And then this was the most bizarre thing. They said, who is Edward Snowden? And I just said, matter-of-factly, he is a whistleblower and an asylee. They next asked, who is Bradley Manning? And I said, a whistleblower. And then they asked, where is Bradley Manning? And I said, in jail. And he said, so he's a criminal. And I said that he's a political prisoner. And then they said, but you represent Snowden. And I said, yes, I'm a human rights attorney, and I'm one of his legal advisors. But I found that entire line of questioning very jarring and very unnerving. I didn't know what kind of answer I was supposed to give. I mean, obviously, it's like asking who is President Obama. They're asking about some of the most famous people on the planet. Obviously, I have an attorney-client relationship to protect. I'm not going to get into meetings that I've had with clients, and only some of my clients are public, Edward Snowden being one of them, so that's why I could answer that question. But I walked away from the interview just shaking. I mean, during the interview, I was fine. I maintained my composure. But I walked away just shaking and just upset. I just cried. It was very intimidating and very, again, unnerving to be asked that line of questions as an attorney. And I don't think journalists or attorneys should be harassed or intimidated at the border. And it's very disturbing to me that this has occurred in the U.S. and the UK. And I've heard that this happened to someone recently in Germany, though I don't know the details of that. But certainly, as an attorney, having gone to 14 different countries in the past year, I have never endured a line of questioning like that. You get the usual, hi, why are you here? Who are you seeing? Where are you staying? But not, who is Edward Snowden? Where is Edward Snowden? Where is Bradley Manning? Do you represent Bradley Manning? Which I wouldn't even be allowed to answer, obviously, because that would be attorney-client privileged information. I, in fact, do not represent him, but it would have put me in a really difficult situation of actually making a false statement if I did represent him and had to answer a question like that.
Jesselyn, could you talk about the significance of the inhibited persons list? How did you first learn about it, and are you, in fact, on it?
It's hard. It was as a graduate or an alumnus of the no-fly list. you're never officially told you are on this list. It's implied, and you hear it. This apparently is some list maintained in Great Britain, but originating from the Department of Homeland Security. And I wish I could tell you more about it, but that's just what I was able to learn from speaking with other people who've had difficulty getting out of the UK. My difficulty was getting in. I'm hoping I don't have any difficulty getting out. But an inhibited persons list, to me, is another kind of watch list, just like how ridiculous it was that I spent a number of years on the no-fly list when I obviously posed no direct threat to Snowden. I'm an attorney doing my job, and being a human rights lawyer does not pose any kind of immigration violation or safety threat to entering the United Kingdom. So I'm not sure why I was subjected to that interrogation, other than to try to intimidate me from doing my job.